do to my closing?
Does not have to deal with any appraisals. I don't have to jump through all those
Right.
loops. I don't be questioning my property. I don't have to.
You don't need to wait for
I
long
got
time.
nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
I can go on with my life.
I can close in 5 or 7 days.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting for 30 or 45 days.
Yeah.
Because if there is financing, even if I have a pre-approval in hand, just out of curiosity, can something go wrong?
Of course.
Of course it can.
Too many times things have gone
Yes.
wrong.
I mean, things can absolutely go wrong. So if I know that I got a bird in the hand, I may just take it. I may take $100,000 less because I'm going to close in 5 days and I'm out of Dodge. It's a done deal. Part of the negotiation, oh, look at that, I got it written right up there. Part of the negotiation is not just price, but terms as well. When you're pre-approved for intent and purpose, you're still dealing with a cash buyer. However, I still got other things I got to do. I still have to clear certain contingencies. I still going to have to get an appraisal done. I'm still going to have to run title. Either one of those things can step up to bite me. Brooklyn especially can run into those issues because Brooklyn is going up in price, and sometimes you get an appraisal done, and we don't have anything to substantiate this new price that we've set that houses are worth now. Because what makes a house worth the money it sells for?
Whatever the customer's willing to pay for it.
Whatever the customer's willing to pay for it, brilliant, perfect. It is one of the few markets in the world where what establishes the price of something is what somebody is willing to pay for it. Everything else comes with a price tag on it. You know, you go to buy a house, is there a little barcode on the side of the house that I can just go scan? On this house, $8.99, right? It doesn't exist. So the only way we determine what a property is worth is by what the market is willing to pay for that house. If the market's willing to pay more than anything that's sold in that area before, we potentially could have an appraisal issue. We hope that we don't. We hope we have a wise appraiser who makes allowances for escalating values, but it still potentially could be an issue. What else could be an issue?
Well,
Section.
back on the pricing, what is the appraisal before we go to the next?
Go ahead.
For example, Manhattan with their Uber luxury pricing.
Yeah.
There's no appraisal for those. Like you might have a building in the middle of Midtown that's $90 million, but there's nothing else. That's
Nothing else out there.
So how would they do an appraisal for that?
They have to make allowances for an escalating market.
Okay.
Plus, a lot of those deals are cash.
Yeah.
There's very little financing that goes on. Those $12, $13 million places, predominantly they are cash buyers and predominantly overseas buyers. You guys watch New York,
Million
New York
Dollar Listing.
New York Real Estate, whatever the hell it is.
Million Dollar
With
Listing.
Ryan Serhant, and we see them all the time setting new standards for price. You know, he's looking at one apartment, and he says, you know, the highest anything is sold for in this area is $1,200 a square foot. We're looking for $2,500 a square foot. Potentially that could be an issue with an appraisal, but thank God somebody's going to come over from Asia or Europe and just going to pay cash. And then once somebody does that, well, I can now sell the next one for that because I now have a precedent that's been set.